welcome to episode 22 of Petong Points podcast for June 2023. Did you know we've been going now since the year 2020? Most podcasts manage to make 3 months or 4 episodes at the most. So thank you for those diehards that insist I keep banging this thing on. And I'm happy to keep banging on the great game of Petong. Fun, exciting, and I found it to be addictive. That might have something to do with the wine prizes we have. Anyway, this episode has some terms, DYO jacks, a rant, info on the Masters games and some very good, well I think so, dad jokes. Oh, and Chris Przygoda shares some wise words. Aren't all his words wise? Have you noticed how many club members are away travelling at the moment? Well, here's just a few of whom I know. Kerry and Roger Madden, Italy and France. Sue Rickaby has been in Portugal and France. John and Mary Muscat just returned from the UK, France and Vietnam. Jenny and Hines are in southern France, having just come back from Sardinia. Tracy from CPC was in France. Barbie and Board are returning from Denmark. Michael Young and Margaret from CPC have just returned from Malaysia. Sol Babco from Mission Beach, Queensland is in Tasmania, or she was at the time of this broadcast. And I did a trip to the gardener's shed in the backyard yesterday. And a big hello to Baz Wingman in the UK. Lots of things happening there. A shout out also to our New Zealand friends. And of course my one listener in Morocco. And my other single listener in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Hey, today Jordan, tomorrow the world. Oh, I nearly missed out too. Congrats to my favourite left-hander, Cindy Peyrot, and her cousin Camille for winning the Men's National in the colours of L'Equipe Apollo. Cindy also is playing in the Mondial La Marseille Pétanque on the 2nd to the 5th of July and is team number 2,418. While we're travelling around, here is a final reminder that if you are interested in being considered for selection in one or more of the forthcoming Oceania and World Women's and Juniors Championships, you have until the end of June to complete the form on the Petong Federation of Australia website. There will be some financial support for all teams from the PFA. There is interest in sending a juniors team, so they have added this option to the form. For any queries, contact the Chair of Selection Panel, Adrian Clements. And that leads us into the upcoming Masters Games. Created by the Confederation of Australian Sport in 1987, the Australian Masters Games is a week-long festival of sport that brings together weekend warriors from around Australia and the world to enjoy an extensive sport and social program in an exciting holiday destination. The 19th edition of the Australian Masters Games will be held in Adelaide from the 7th to the 14th of October 2023. I spent a month in Adelaide one weekend. And the best news is you don't need to be a superstar to participate, with entry open to all who meet the minimum age criteria. In most sports, this is 30 years. 30, that's hardly Masters. Many games participants enter multiple sports too for the extra bang for their buck. The Games is renowned for its social program almost as much as the sport. The opportunity to explore your favourite and new hidden gem locations will combine with a jam-packed entertainment program. It will be epic. At the conclusion of sporting events each day, it's time to kick up your heels and let's play. The Petong details are the dates: Sunday the 8th, Monday the 9th, Tuesday the 10th, Thursday 12th and Friday 13th of October 2023. They start at 9 and finish at 5. Early bird entry fee is $125 per person. Discounted price for competitors of my age, that's 70 plus, and that's $110 per person. Further details available in the Games entry terms and conditions. Some players might decide they want to make their own jack. I've done that and very pleased with my outcome. Is a homemade jack legal in competition play, I hear you ask? The FIPJ regulation size for a jack is 30mm plus or minus 1. The regulation weight of a jack is 10 to 18 Gs. In short, if a homemade jack meets all these requirements for a competition, it can be used in an official competition. So how do we do it? In Melbourne, Australia, I've found Spotlight stores the best to buy a wooden ball whose size is 30mm in diameter and the weight is correct. Other places may have craft stores that offer the same. eBay offers something similar and you can get it in bulk. Once you have your wooden ball, colour it red with a permanent marker, voila, a jack. Well, that's one way of doing it, but you'll get much better results though by painting your jack. To get a really high quality jack, apply 3 coats of paint. First a coat of white, then a coat of the desired colour, and finally a clear, hard coat that will protect the colour and will also give the jack a glossy surface that improves its visibility. To hold the ball while you're painting it, just stick a needlework pin in. Once the ball is mounted on the pin, it is easy to hold and manoeuvre while you're painting it. A rant. I've said from the beginning of this podcast, I only ever wanted to promote the positive aspect of petanque on this medium. There have been many approaches from individuals to promote their own political and or personal agendas. These I've rejected outright. I see the game of petanque as pure, pleasant, very sociable, competitive for some, but most of all fun. In fact, I've insisted from day one that the first rule of petanque is to have fun. The second rule of petanque is to have fun. Something, though, has got my gander up. But I'll still try to do this in a positive manner. I've been saddened recently to find a number of players, all of whom I normally have the greatest respect, refuse or resist in normal club games to participate if they are drawn to play in a triples match. Unfortunate, really. They enjoy all the facilities and experiences that a club offers, but then they reject or refuse to be part of something involving fellow players just because they only get to use 2 balls instead of 3. It would seem then that they should only ever be playing in singles matches. By their actions, it demonstrates they don't have a clear understanding of the skills, team cooperation, strategy, and confidence to work in a team environment that is required at a higher level. What a shame. There is so much that could be offered by them and to them and their teammates. I wonder if originally the game was played with 4 bulls, would they not play if they could only play with 3? The game is a wonderful game, and for me a magical game in any of its forms. Yes, in triples, we all say how that 3rd bull would make the difference. But it is a triples game. Play it as a triples game. Play it as a team. That's what it's meant to be. Yes, thinking needs to be changed, as does your strategy and playset. It is a team game. I implore you all to look again at this wonderful game we play in all its forms. You are a club member, a team member, and a damn good sport. Use this opportunity to show off your talents in the best possible way. Rant ends here. The term piste is derived from the old Italian word piste, from pistere, to trample down, and means a trampled down trail or track, a beaten path. In snow skiing, a piste is a marked ski run or path down a mountain. By extension, a piste is any long, narrow strip of ground where some activity takes place. In fencing, the piste is the long, narrow area, the fencing mat, where a fencing match takes place. When I was fencing in the 70s, my piste was really wide as I used to have to run very fast and very far to escape. In petanque, the term piste is used to refer to a marked patch of ground upon which one plays petanque. The term was extensively used in Australian versions of the rules, but other versions of the rules have used the term only rarely. Currently, the FIPJ rules use the term cadre or lane. Words like piste, lane and cadre refer to a set of visible physical marks or strings on the ground. So a marked patch of ground can be a piste or lane even when no game is being played on it. In contrast, the expression marked terrain is not a technical term and it is used in a different way. The word marked is an ordinary adjective used to indicate that a patch of ground where a game is being played, the terrain, has boundaries that have been marked in some way. When has the term piste appeared in the national or international rules of petanque? Well, in 1972, the term appeared 4 times in the French language international rules. In 1990, that's the FIPJ rules. In 1995, it appeared twice as an additional interpolation in Article 18 of the English language translation by the British Petanque Association. In 2006, it appeared 2 times in FP USA rules and 13 times in the rules and notes of Petanque Australia. After 2006, it continued to appear in Australian versions of the rules. But now the Oz rules refer to it as a lane. The origins of the petanque playing area are interesting. In the beginning, petanque players played in the town park or square. The area inside the park was inbounds, terrain authorisé, and the area outside the park was out of bounds, terrain interdit. The edge of the park, which was the boundary between the inbounds and out of bounds areas, was called the dead ball line, because when a ball went out of bounds, it went dead. If only one game was being played in the park, then the players could throw the jack in any direction, and the game would roam all over the park. If several games were being played in the park at the same time, then the players in each game picked a particular area in the park, a terrain, and would play their game within that area. The game terrains were located wherever there was open space between other features in the park, such as rocks, trees, benches, lights, etc. If a jack was shot out of one terrain and went into the terrain of a neighbouring game, there was no big problem. The owners of the escapee jack marked its location and picked it up and waited for their neighbours to finish their end. Then they put their jack back down in the marked spot, finished their own end and returned to their terrain. Have you been playing and heard the other teams utter some seemingly undefinable language? I get it a lot. Those may not be included in the following, but to help, here is a glossary of special terms. Join battle or arriver à bataillon. Yeah, okay, I've done that so Vin can pick me up on my pronunciation. When both teams have 10 or 11 points, and the game may go either way on each lead. Bombard is to shoot or strike an opponent's bulls one after the other after they have taken the lead. Boule de vent or boule d'argent, a ball in front of a money ball. This maxim reminds players that when pointing, the most valuable place for a boule is in front of the jack. In that location, it prevents opponents from throwing directly toward the jack, and hitting it will push it even closer to the jack. Jack or bouchon, cochonnet, petite, gary or kiki. That's small wooden or plastic target ball. A carambolage, shot that knocks away several boules, literally a pile-up. Casquette, or literally a cap. An unfortunate strike shot in which the shooter's bull just brushes, just brushes the top of the targeted bulls and caps it for a split second, but fails to knock it away. This happens to me a lot. Demarqueur, or unscore, to drop a point when pointing or shooting. This happens to me a lot. Fuseur, a bull that bounces off course. This happens to me a lot. Have the point. A team is said to have the point if one of its bulls is closer to the jack than any of the opposing team's bulls. This doesn't happen to me a lot. Poussette, a shot that pushes one's team's bulls nearer the jack or to push the jack. Circulaire, an instrument to mark the circle position. Good ones are made from the horns of the now declining mountain goat. Merde. I don't know what this means, but my teammates seem to say it often after I shoot. There are many other terms, and I encourage you to investigate and widen your understanding of this wonderful game. This quote comes from Przygoda. I'm placing the thick stone right under the top element of the oven. It makes the bottom crispy. And who doesn't like a crispy bottom? And browns the top, whilst keeping the centre moist. I think we'll be making Chris a regular. And now for some dad jokes. If spaghetti made an action movie, what would it be called? Mission Impossible. I have a fear of speed humps. I'm slowly getting over it. Most people are shocked when they find out that I'm not a certified electrician. I have a knock-knock joke, but you have to start it. Yes, enough. Thank you for staying through. Hope you check out the Masters Games at Oceania. Get your terms right, make a jack, and learn to enjoy triples. Rex out.
You're a good man, Rex. Sick of Rex. Sick of Rex.
I thought they'd never go.